our body could actually be a place of inner refuge. As we get started, what we notice is that we're here. We notice that we have a particular experience here, and we also notice that our experience changes over time. As we're working with this, what we're really doing is working in a very skilled way with our nervous system, learning enough about our nervous system that we can actually change our experience in the moment. There are powerful tools that we use. We get better at them. What's going on in our nervous system? Why is it that we don't feel so much safety in our body right now? Of course, that has so much to do with our nervous system. Take a moment to feel that into your body. Start with the practice of using our senses. Our experience in the world is very much affected by our senses. So let's start with a 5 senses practice. The first thing we use is our visual. Our eyes are always looking around for any cues of danger. So look around the room right now and name 5 things you can see and then say them out loud. So for me, I see the rain on the window and I see pictures of family. So say 5 things out loud. And then 4 things you can touch. I can feel the warmth of my hands, different fabrics of my clothing. 4 things that you can touch. 3 sounds that you can hear. Say those out loud too. You can hear your own voice. 2 smells or 2 of your favorite aromas. And then 1 thing that you can taste or a favorite taste. And then let yourself come back to awareness of your body. So what we're really doing here is bringing ourselves into this moment in time. One of the things that we know about our nervous system is that it's always on duty. It is 100% committed to keeping us safe. The way that it does that is not always accurate. So if it's not really all that accurate, then how can we bring more accuracy to it? So that's a big part of what we do. The body itself, we have a lot of different ways that we feel safe, but safety in the body always overrides everything else. Our body could be this place where we feel calm and clear and where we can return to this. We can build this inner refuge, this inner place of strength. As we do that, we remember to breathe. What happens is we get some kind of activation in the nervous system. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, that's right, I'm holding my breath, or I'm clenching my teeth, or I could relax my shoulders. We could remember to look around. Right now, actually, there's no danger here. We can reach for these inner resources that we're building, and the more that we practice them, the more likely that we'll remember them when we start to feel panicky. The thing that happens over time is that we learn that we can count on ourselves. When we think about the world as it is right now, harm that's going on, a lot of danger now, and we're projecting that it will be like that or worse in the future. But also, our nervous systems are highly influenced by the way they work, that we evolve. And the world that we evolved into is really, really different from what we have right now. Come to the sense of, I can count on myself. I can count on my body. And one of the ways that we reassure ourselves of that is that we recognize we have a lot of different ways that we can come back into awareness. We just did one. We're looking around the room, 4 things we can touch, the 5 senses. Another one that we use a lot is cyclic physiological sighing. A moment ago, we were just talking about what's going on in the world. And what's going on in the world feels dangerous, and it is. And there's a lot of harm going on in the world, especially right now. It feels very escalated. When we think about that, what happens in our body is that we get alarmed and we respond to that. Let's do something to bring ourselves back into awareness. In fact, what's going on in the world right now isn't what's happening in our personal experience in this moment. Our personal experience is very much affected by what's going on in the world. What we want to do is let our nervous system know that there's nothing that I need to do right now. We do the double inhale through the nose and a long exhale like we're breathing out through a thin straw. One of our practices that we do. So inhale through the nose, and then again, and then a long, slow exhale Purse your lips so it's like you're breathing out through a thin straw. Let your whole body relax as you're doing that. So inhale. And again, long, slow exhale. Notice that you could allow your body to soften as you breathe out. Let that wave of softening come through your whole body. So your forehead, let go of worry, mouth and jaw, neck and shoulders, large muscles of the upper back, the chest, the belly. Let yourself breathe. Let your body have enough room to breathe. Notice your arms and legs. Let your arms relax and your legs. And as we move into, in a moment, just the regular breath, notice what else would like to happen in your body. If you're feeling really agitated, you can really feel good to shake it out. So you could do it as you're sitting, or you could stand and shake. You might want to do some noisy breaths, like some big inhales. Let out some frustration through your voice. So once we notice that we're activated, then we can do something to bring ourselves back into regulation. So one of the things that has been quite popular the last several years is the polyvagal system, Dr. Stephen Porges and Deb Dana. And it's all about the nervous system. We're working with fight, flight, and freeze. Freeze is the dampened down, numb state. Fight and flight are the sympathetic arousal, the nervous system going, you got to get out of here. If you can't escape, you might have to fight, but we need to be ready for that. And then ventral vagal is the state of regulation. We perceive a threat, then we move into one of the survival responses, three of which are fight, flight, and freeze. It's not possible really to always be in ventral vagal, the calm state, because we need to respond to life. But what we do want to do is recognize I'm starting to get that fogginess. I'm starting to feel itchy, like I got to get out of here. Or I'm really getting hot and angry. And when we notice that, then the key is to come back into awareness that right now, in this moment, this is experience that I'm having. And why am I having that? Well, there's some kind of threat here. So whether you feel like you're a tidal wave of anxiety and fear right now, or you're in more like a dullness, okay, I get it that a lot of people in the world are really activated and really in more danger now. But my personal circumstances, I'm not so much affected. I really care about the world and about other people, so I'm affected in that way. The way that we evolved in small tribal groups is if one person in the group was a little bit more vigilant, perhaps, maybe they had better hearing or better sight and they noticed danger. So we all take our cues from each other. And part of what's happening in the world right now is a lot of people are highly alarmed and worried and angry and all kinds of feelings that we have about this. And we're picking up on that from each other. So part of what we're wanting to do is kind of lower the level of our own personal activation. One of the ways that we can do that is by learning more about the way the nervous system works. If we're talking about the visual cues, by about 1960, a lot of people in North America had television sets. And then the Vietnam War came along, and that was the first war that was televised. But now we're constantly bombarded with images 9/11, wars, environmental. And so we have this all coming into our brain, but our brain doesn't know. Prior to 1960 ish, if we saw something in our eyes, it was happening right in front of us. So now we need to kind of back away from seeing a lot of those alarming images so that our brain can understand that's happening right now, perhaps, but it's not happening in my immediate environment. So we can lower the level of activation in order to assess the situation more accurately, but also in order to see what is it that I need to do, that I can do, what's going on in my neuroception. So let's take a breath here. Just talking about all those things tends to tighten our muscles. Maybe we lost that smooth breath that we had a few minutes ago. Just notice what your experience is with that. So neuroception is the nervous system's perception of our safety and danger. And that's not something that we decide. It's something that our unconscious, our nervous system decides for us. When we think about feeling safe, Just pause for a moment. And as you look around, are there any cues of danger that you're noticing in your immediate environment? You might look behind you as well. Let your eyes update the information. Right now, I don't really see any danger. But then we can also add in, but what I do see is things that make me feel comfortable and safe. And I can see pictures of, people who I care about and can see the trees. To bring ourselves up to date, right now, what's happening is this. We want to be doing that whenever we're starting to feel like there's something going on here that's alarming. And then each time that we do that, each time that we notice that we're activated and then we bring our level down, we come back more into the ventral vagal, the state of calm. A couple things happen that are really important. One is that we gain access again to our larger mind, our wisdom. When we're in survival mode, all that happens is we're trying to survive. So we don't catch the nuances of things. Our lens is highly activated and suspicious. We're looking for danger and how to survive that. And one of the things that happens is we lose our connection with ourself, with compassion. But as we get a bit more regulated again, we remember, oh, here I am shaming myself for being in an anger response, for instance, or maybe frustrated with myself and mad at myself that I can't sleep. But meanwhile, here's what's going on in the world. It's no wonder that our nervous systems are responding the way they are. So if we were to take a hand and put it on our heart and maybe with a couple of deep breaths, offer ourselves the kindness and the patience. We're in a tough situation right now, and it's hard to be in the world right now. And we're really doing the best that we can. Let yourself breathe, let yourself notice that. I'm not broken. There's nothing wrong with me that I'm responding the way I respond. These things are happening. My nervous system is assessing them in this way, and I'm feeling alarmed or I'm feeling dull or whatever that might be. We could bring our own self back into a kindness of our own heart. Let yourself have that for a moment. Are you able to bring yourself into some softness, some open heartedness? Maybe you noticing a bit more ease in your shoulders again, or maybe that worry that was knitting your brows, you could lift your brows and let them soften. So, what that experience does is we recognize what's going on in our nervous system, and then we do something to come back into regulation. Our brain learns from experience. So then our brain is learning, oh, okay, when I really notice what's going on, and then I look around and I maybe hold my hands or I take some deeper breaths, actually, there's no danger here. It really helps our brain to become more accurate, in our nervous system. Thoughts and sensations. When you think about your body, what is it that gives us the feeling? Like, how does that show up in our body? That feeling of not being safe. These are all very familiar. We hold our breath, we tighten our body, and we often get kind of compulsive around thoughts in our mind. But we all have this higher level of alarm or activation because of the world right now. And as soon as we start thinking about that, our nervous system starts to remember, oh, yeah, that's right. Our nervous system is always 100% committed to our safety. It's just not always accurate. So each time we bring ourselves back into more accuracy, our brain learns that. And then it shifts the evidence. Our nervous system is evidence based. It also has a negativity bias. So when we have those thoughts that come into the mind, they can be really compelling because they're meant to be compelling. They're meant to get our attention because this is to do with our safety, our survival. So when we know that, we can also look back and go, well, yeah, but that thought actually isn't keeping me safer. So how could we work with some of the catastrophic thinking? The catastrophic thinking and the sensations and energy in our body are what make our body feel unsafe. That's why we disconnect. That's why we have a hard time being here. Whatever it is you're thinking about, one way to interrupt is to tap on your forehead. Just let yourself become aware of the sensations, the sound. Another way is to open your eyes and put the image that you're looking at into a frame on the other side of the room. So as you're looking at that, notice images or colors and shapes. Put them into a specific location over there in a frame. And then notice as well that there's space between you and the image over there, but also there's space around the image. So helping our brain, we let our eyes roam around the empty space 2 or 3 times in one direction, 2 or 3 times in the opposite direction. And then we look right back into the image. But it's a tool many of you are familiar with if you've been working with me for a while. So it really works. As we put something alarming in the middle there in the frame, and then we do that, it helps our brain to notice I'm looking at an image. I'm not actually in a tidal wave right now. I'm not actually in any kind of danger right now. I've got a memory or a thought in my mind. We're always coming back into what's happening right now. What's the reality of what's happening right now? So we shift focus, we do all those kinds of things. But then as you're looking at that now, you can still have your eyes open. You could still be taking your eyes around the outside if it's still got some intensity. Now we drop into the body. What are the sensations in our bodies that kind of contribute to that feeling of I'm not safe? There's a lot of different things that could be going on. We might have memories, we might have beliefs, the actual, what it feels like, the sensations. Some of the common ones are a feeling of heaviness if we're feeling sad, a feeling of tightness in the upper back, maybe a feeling of I need to brace myself. What are the sensations? A black hole in the gut. Sometimes sensations are moving, sometimes they're still. So, what we can do with sensation to remember we don't want to go into our body to feel this. But what we're doing with these practices is we're staying regulated enough that we can watch and be aware of the sensation, like you would explain it to a scientist, for instance. What is the shape of the sensation? Where is it? If you have a feeling of something in your heart area, for instance, does it expand to fill the whole of your chest? Is it just in that one area? Is it moving? Is it pulsing? Things that move in our body feel more threatening generally. Does it have a color or shape? If it does, you could look at it like you look at an image. And then notice that there's space around that. If you have a tight fist in your gut, for instance, look and see, do I feel it in my toes? A lot of sensation is localized. Is there a sense of space around it? If I don't feel it in my whole body, maybe if I feel it up into the lower ribs, but then I don't really feel it up into my chest, or maybe I do. Where is it centered? And then notice the space outside of the sensation. And just notice it. It doesn't go on forever. Even it might be your whole body, but it's limited to your body. So we put our attention on the areas around the sensation. Can you put your attention right in the middle of the sensation? So if you have a feeling in your chest, for instance, could you kind of hang out in the middle and see what's going on there? And sometimes the sensation is like, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And that's fine. There's no right or wrong here. We're just experimenting. We're just looking. So this is a sensation that's contributing to this feeling of I'm not safe in my body. So we want to know a little bit more about it. So one thing we could ask is, do I have a sense that this sensation is here to hurt me? Like, is it malicious or is it here for something else? And just sit with that question for a moment. We usually have a sense of that. If it feels like it's here to hurt you, then look to see why. Like there must be some words or images or something. So sometimes when we have painful energy that feels really intense, it feels like we need to brace ourselves and get rid of it. This type of sensation is some kind of I want attention. I want you to recognize something's happening. It might be to alert us, to warn us. So we're using all of these tools. And we don't have to get them perfect right now. We're just working with them, and we'll work with them over the next several weeks. Notice your breath again, maybe some cyclic sighing or some deeper inhales, longer exhales. Let your body relax a little bit. We don't have to do something with the sensation. We could just notice it. So, the root of this healing anxiety, catastrophic thinking in the mind is to be able to be present with the sensations in our bodies. General mindfulness practices that we do, a lot of them are really helpful for that. As we're able to do that, we're able to witness the thoughts and sensations. Sensations have associated thoughts and memories. There's a reason that they're there. They don't just come out of the blue. We are able to be present and witness them from the safety of this present moment. Let's just take another breath as we're coming towards the end of this. What did you observe or learn about your nervous system and your reaction to things right now? What worked? Maybe the cyclic sighing, or maybe looking around. What was helpful? And I have guided practices of all of these on Insight Timer, so you can always go back and do really specific things. Work with sensations, work with cyclic sighing, something like that. What would be helpful? Something that I'm curious about, that I could stay with this and do some more exploration. There's all of these great tools, and then we can work with ourselves from awareness, from the safety of the present moment. As you move about through your day, come back to it a little bit. Notice what's here.